Hey folks, Karen here with BeyondTshirts.net. Take 3. I don't know why I always have such a problem getting my videos done, but I do anyway. The topic of this video is Christian women's retreats, and why I think it's important that if your church or if you have a local organization or whatever and they do women's retreats that are Christian and faith-based, you should go. Today's Monday, and yesterday was the end of my 6th retreat with our church. And below the video, I will have a link of the church that we go to. And if you're in the Berks, Chester, or Lancaster counties of Pennsylvania and you're looking for a home church, check ours out. Okay, so why are women's retreats important, or what did I learn from the one that I went on? So the topic of ours this year was God is calling. Are you answering, or will you answer? And the speaker that we had was talking about what you're doing with your life. Is it in line with what God wants you to do? And a lot of what she talked about resonated with me, especially being an older person. I just turned 66, and I only launched my business just about 7 years ago, but really didn't do anything with it until really this year I started cracking down on it. And the retreat really gave me some insight and confirmation that, yeah, I'm doing what I should be doing and what the Lord wants me to do. And that is keep on going with designing my t-shirts, blogging, vlogging, and doing videos that I pull from my blogs. So if you go back over my channel, you'll see I have some faceless videos, and those are videos that I created from my blog posts. And that's a lot of fun. So I feel like I'm using the gifts that the Lord gave me. I've always been very good with English and writing, so I'm using those gifts. And I've always been fascinated and always learning more about computers and technology, software programs. So I'm doing that as well. I've learned, and I'm self-taught mostly everything. I've touched on that in a previous video. You can go back and look at that. But anyway, the retreat this weekend. One of the projects that we did was she had cut out a bunch of pages and sentiments and that from magazines, and she wanted us to look through them and create a collage that resonated with you, that described you, that went with, what you're doing. So I created this one. And the background was one page, and every little image had a computer in it. It's laminated, so excuse the glare. And I made a private Facebook group specifically for our family. I do a lot of do-it-yourself. I am home most of the time. And I've been being patient. And that's something that I am not, as a patient person. It's like when I want it now. But I have mellowed with age. So I wrote a blog post also about waiting for God's timing, not your timing. So you have to look back through my blog and look for the blog post about waiting for God's timing. So that really resonated with me. So that was the collage I made, and I laminated it so I could hang it up in my office. Another project that we did after one of the teachings was sit and reflect and think, and it was a very quiet time, and you were to listen to the Lord. What name was He giving you? If what you heard was he was giving you your own name, write it down. If something else came to you, write that down. Well, all I kept hearing was daughter, because I am a child of God. So I am God's daughter, and that's what kept coming up was daughter. Both of my parents are deceased. My mom passed in 97. My dad passed in 2016. So I was their daughter, but I am the Lord's daughter. So that's what kept coming up. So I just wrote down my own name, Karen, because that's who I am. So then we were supposed to go up and up to the box, and if you wanted to, you could close your eyes and just pick a bookmark out of the box, and then take it back to your table and see what it said. So I closed my eyes, picked out a bookmark, didn't look at it, went back to my table and looked at it, and this is what it said. Beloved daughter. And the ladies at my table were just like, wow, that's God speaking. And the other side of it said highly favored. And that just gave me even more confirmation and comfort that, yeah, I am doing what God's calling me to do. I didn't really start getting really involved with our church and paying attention and listening and thinking and praying on what God wanted me to do. All my life, I just lost job after job after job. And the last permanent full-time job, I was fired from that. And then the last temporary full-time job, I had to leave because of physical disabilities. So since 2006, I've just been at home and trying to start a business to generate income. And I've been on Social Security disability until last year when I turned 65 and it transitioned to retirement. So now I'm retired. So now I'm 66. Well, am I still doing what God was calling me to do? And I believe I am, because the Lord gave me gifts of writing and learning new things. And I've always had a keen interest in technology. So I didn't go to school for any kind of computer tech, but I have taken the ability to learn how to do new things and applied it to my business. So I've been learning more about AI, which helps me with generating and writing and cleaning up blog posts and creating videos and creating the faceless videos. So I use my blog posts to create scripts and little video clips to make videos to embed into my blog posts. And then I do my little talking head vlogs too. So yeah, but going to the retreat really gave me a confirmation. A lot of the things that the speaker spoke about resonated with me, especially when she touched on, did you start too late? Are you too late to fulfill what God wanted you to do? And I'm 66. And if it takes 10 years to build this blog, to provide any kind of an income to supplement the Social Security, then it takes 10 years. And Lord willing, I'll still be here when I'm 76, and I'll still be doing what I'm doing. I might have to slow down a little bit, but I just feel like this is where the Lord wants me. At home, and once a year going on the retreats and talking with other women that some may be a lot younger, some are older. The one woman that was bunking in our cabin, she's 78, and another woman is 80, 80 or 81, I don't remember now. And then we had women in their 20s. So the retreats are restricted to 18 and over. So there are some women that bring their daughters, their older teenage daughters or young adults. We have mother-daughter teams that come, and we just have a lot of fun. So the basic format of our retreats, we go to a place called Greenview Bible Camp, and that's in Denver, Pennsylvania. So I bought stickers this year. I bought a sticker for the little bag. Those are our little swag bags. And then I bought a sticker to put on the front of the journals that were handed out this year. And then I also bought, my husband and I both bought us each these little pens that got faces on them. Faces and hair, they're so cute. And then I bought us each LED flashlights, little keychain flashlights. I just have to buy something when I go there. Last year I bought a mug. So our basic schedule now, I go for the whole weekend. It kicks off on Friday evening and it goes through Sunday morning. And some women only come, they come Friday evening, they stay over, and then they'll leave Saturday afternoon, or they'll leave Saturday after dinner. Some only come on Saturdays. So it's really flexible. It's what you feel. So Friday evening we have dinner at 6, and then it's from 7 to 8:30. It's worship and teaching time, and we always have a guest speaker. And then at 8:30 we have what are called breakout sessions. And what it is 15 minutes, and each table has about 8 women, and one woman will be designated the lead. And this year it was questions, so things to reflect on that have to do with the topic of the weekend. And then you just go around and give your answer, your response, and you have little discussions. It's a lot of fun. And then after that, it's just free time. So we just kind of hang out and, do whatever. Saturday breakfast is at 8 o'clock. And then we always do an icebreaker event for about 20 minutes. And it's just gives a chance for all the women to meet each other. And that's because our church is so big that some people only come to the 9 a.m. service. Some people only come to the 11 a.m. service. And some people go to our second location for the 4:30 p.m. service. So there's a lot of women there that you may not know for a few years if you only go to one specific service. Now with me, we always went to the 11 o'clock service because if we follow the speed limit, it takes us an hour to get to church. Not that we always follow the speed limit, because we can't always drive 55 or 65 or 75. And I've clocked myself at 90. So I try not to do that often. Usually I max out at 80. During the winter, we stick pretty close to the speed limit. So we always went to the 11 o'clock service. And then when we got more involved with the church, my husband went on the security team. And that's twice a month. And when he's on security, he has to be there for both services, for the 9 and the 11. So most of the time when he has security, I just watch the live stream from home. So there's a lot of women that have been coming to the church for a while, but I've never met them because they've been only coming to first service. And it's also gets very crowded in between services when you've got the 9 o'clock service letting out at around 10:15, 10:30, but then between 10:15 and quarter to 11, you've got all the people coming in for the 11 o'clock service. And those are the days where I duck out, where I hope I'm doing door greeting that day, so I'm not, because I can get claustrophobic easily, and I feel like I have to wind my way through all these people. But I'll usually go outside for about 15, 20 minutes until it clears out in the lobby. So a lot of that time you may not meet the people coming out of first service. So the women's retreats are amazing because then you get to meet all these people that you may have seen their faces in passing, but this gives you a better opportunity to get to know them a little better, their background and what they do for a living and that. And then we have a worship and teaching time. And in the worship time, we have women that are on our worship team, and they'll bring their guitar. One woman brings her ukulele. We've got the electronic keyboard. And the drummer on our worship team, his wife plays bongo drums. So she comes and she brings her bongo drums. So we have a nice little, and we get loud. We sing. Some of us jump. We jump around, clap. We just have a great time. And then after that teaching time, another breakout session. And that was the one breakout session where I wrote my name down, but then picked the beloved daughter out of the box. We have lunch at 12:15, and then we have another worship and teaching time and personal reflection. And then at 2:30 this year, and we do this every year, the campground has big tractors and wagons. They call it a hayride, but they don't put any straw or hay in it. At least they didn't this year. I don't think they did last year either. But they take us on a nice drive around the countryside, because the location of this campground is like back off the road. And there's a lot of back roads we can go. Of course, we all wave at people we pass by, and we laugh and have a good time. It's just awesome. And then from 3 to 5:30, you've got like free time. You can do crafts. We have a craft gathering, and we have some women that are in charge of making, developing crafts and craft projects. There's also a prayer walk, so they put little signs along the lane, and you do a prayer walk. You can go over to the gymnasium and just sit and have personal prayer time. We went on the hayride, and then when we got back from the hayride, it was about 3 or 4 of us decided to, I have my mobility scooter, but there's a lane that you can walk down, and it's just a single lane, and it turns into a gravel road, and it comes out to a main road. So we just went in, we were looking at the horses on the way down. So we just went down there and then turned around and came back. And then there's dinner, another worship time, teaching time, and another breakout session. And then if enough women feel like it, we'll start the campfire out next to the lodge and make s'mores. I didn't see any of that going on this Saturday night. Sunday morning is breakfast. We do worship and prayer, and then those of us that are left, let's put it that way. Like I said, a lot of women come for just Saturday, so they'll leave Saturday night after the breakout session and go home. A lot of them are because they teach Sunday school the next morning. They're in the youth ministry, or they're on the worship team and they have to be there on Sunday morning. Some just don't like staying overnight anywhere but home. So we're pretty thinned out by breakfast Sunday morning. And then we just share on what resonated with us over the weekend. What did we learn? What did we feel? What kind of an impact did it have on us? And then after that, we pack up, unless we've gotten up early enough to pack up beforehand. And a lot of the women depart and leave and go to the church for the second service at 11 o'clock. My husband had security this week, so he was already in for the first service. And then he designated and reassigned people around so that he could cut out and come over and pick me up. And then we just came home. And our church live streams the first service, so I just watched from home on that Sunday, because I'm not exactly prepared to go to church. Once that weekend's over, I just want to go home. But yeah, that was our retreat, and the schedule pretty much stays the same from year to year. We'll just have different speakers, we'll have different craft projects, things like that, different things going on. But it's always a fantastic weekend. Now, I went to my very first women's retreat in 2018. We started going to the church in 2017, right after the women's retreat. So I heard about the women's retreat all year. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to get in on all these women-y things. I just wasn't sure what it was going to be like. And I was still pretty new to the church. So my husband was asking me, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, but it's not really in our budget. I really can't afford it. And he says, well, if you want to go, I'll make it work. I said, I'll tell you what. Call my kids and tell them, Mom, this is what your mom wants to do for her birthday, is to go on this retreat. If they will each pay for half of it, then I'll go. And my kids stepped up and said, yeah, this is what Mom wants for her birthday, then this is what we'll give her for her birthday. So 2018 was my first retreat, and I jumped in, both feet, went registered, and went for the whole weekend. Got there Friday evening, unpacked, and stayed till Sunday morning. And it was a blast. It was so great. Then 2019, we changed locations and started going to the Greenview. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Greenview Bible Camp. And that was phenomenal. These people are just amazing. They home-cooked meals for all 3 meals, and there's plenty of food. If you're hungry after a meal, then something's wrong with you. Because they just do an amazing job. And the dining area is, everything's set up like it's rustic, just like a camping lodge should be. It's beautiful, and the scenery is absolutely gorgeous. So and nice fresh air, trees. I mean, it is beautiful. So it's my one weekend a year where I unplug. The only time I pull my phone out is to call my husband at night or play games that I have on my phone while I'm getting tired enough to go to sleep. And I'm like, I keep forgetting to take pictures. Maybe next year I'll remember to take pictures. I think I did take a couple pictures one year, but I don't remember what year that was. I just keep forgetting because it's like I put my phone away and I forget about it. And I don't have a separate camera. So I don't take pictures. Deal with it. So that's, I would encourage everyone who goes to church, if your church does a women's retreat event, go. Take the time, make a way to go. Maybe your church is small and they don't have women's retreats. Maybe your church has mostly older women and they don't really do retreats. If you're in the Berks County, Lancaster County, or Chester County areas of Pennsylvania and you're looking for a new church, you're looking for a church that does a lot of activities, a lot of outreach, and a wide range of ages and all kinds of backgrounds. It's an amazing church. In fact, this is the longest time we've been going to this church now for, it'll be 7 years next month, and is the longest in my adult life I have ever voluntarily gone to church. And it's just phenomenal. I love all the women there. It's beautiful, and I can't speak highly enough about it. So, well, that's it for this video. And if this resonated with you, if you enjoyed it, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit the little bell so you'll be notified when I do another video, which I will probably do a blog post video later this week. I'm trying to do them on Wednesdays. So I usually do a blog post on Monday and a video on Wednesday. This week I did also a video on Monday because I wanted to talk about the retreat. Okay, that'll do it. Stop by my blog. All the links will be below. And subscribe so you're notified of when I do new blog posts. And that's it. Take care and God bless.